Why do you think that fans wanted to see this matchup so much? This is for both of you guys, for Rich and for Chuck.
I don't know. I mean, he's a great opponent. It's going to be I think it's going to be an exciting fight. We're both going to go out there and punch each other. So people kind of like those type of fights. So no, don't like it.
I think the fans are just excited to see this fight because if you look at both mine and Chuck's track record, we like to put on exciting fights in the end, and we're similar styles, and I think that's going to mesh up for a good show for the fans in the middle.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Once again, if you have a question, please press star, then 1 on your touchtone telephone. We'll go ahead and take our next question from Thomas Gerbasi with UFC.
Hey guys, question for Chuck. Chuck, you've been working with Howard Davis for a while. How aware were you of, his background in the Olympics and, as a former title challenger before you guys started working together? And also, what has he brought to your game, in the time you guys have been together?
Well, to be honest, I looked him up when we first started talking. John started talking about me working with him. John knew him well, but I checked out his resume and stuff and what he's done before. What he's helped with is the reason John brought him in is, he was good at defense and getting in and getting out, moving, defensive fighting, land a punch, get it out. We're known for power, so it's kind of like a yin-yang kind of thing. He's kind of helping us bring in some, I'm offense at, my best defense at good offense kind of thing. And, he's been working my defense and my movement, so help him work on that a little bit more.
Was it difficult? You and John have been together forever. It was one of those things that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Was it difficult to bring someone else into the circle?
No, not at all. It helps, with guys, gold medalist, most outstanding Olympics, coming in. I respect him. I came in, John brought him in, and I respect John's opinion, so, came and brought him in to work with me, so it was easy to work with him.
Right.
I'm a pretty good student. If I decide to work with somebody, I'll listen to what they say and try to figure out how to do what they're doing.
Right. Thanks, Chuck. Question for Mirko. Mirko, you had switched your camp around a bit, shook things up before the fight with Parash. Why was that important for you at that time in your career to say, hey, I need to go back to Ivan and get things straightened out?
Well, it is very important to have a camp like Ivan Hippolyt has in Amsterdam because of, first of all, he is a first-class coach. Second thing, there are many sparring partners which I don't have in Zagreb, in Croatia, and it's good to go there to be isolated. And even for this preparation, they came all the way from Amsterdam and they spent 4 weeks with me here in Zagreb.
Now, Mirko, when I spoke to Ivan before the last fight, he said you were getting great sparring. Guys were really coming in and giving you good work. Were you getting too much respect back in your old camp that you weren't able to get the proper work in sparring?
I didn't understand the question. Sorry.
Were the guys you were working with before, were they giving you too much respect in sparring?
Oh, definitely, but not just respect. I don't think they were on the level like professionals from Amsterdam. I don't want to offend. They are my friends and who came to help me, but they're just not that kind of a level of fighters like Ivan can offer me in Amsterdam, or I can find in a first gym in Amsterdam.
Right.
Like one thing is to spar with a friend of mine who are good, very solid fighters, but one thing is to spar with Remy Bunyansky and other K1 stars, That's something quite different.
Right. So now, before this last fight, you came in on site in Australia early. You seemed a lot more relaxed than you had before your other UFC fights. Have you finally reached the point where you're comfortable in the octagon and comfortable with the whole UFC stuff?
Well, I think I am. I'm definitely much more relaxed than my previous fight. There are so many small details that I actually wasn't aware about. fighting is in the cage is fighting in a cage. It's not a ring, and the cage has its own rules, you know, and it's pretty much different. I spent all my career fighting in Japan in the ring, but cage is a cage. That's why people came all the way from Amsterdam to Zagreb to spar with me, because I have original UFC cage in my house. I have a gym inside my house, and I have a cage there, so we decided to train because of the cage, you know.
Right. And finally, Mirko, Pat Barry's a guy, you know, with a lot of respect for you. Said he had his poster, has your poster on his wall when he was a kid. What's it like to fight someone who has that much respect for you? And are you aware of the influence you've had on, you know, this generation of fighters?
Well, I don't know if I'm aware particularly for Pat, but I never met Pat, but definitely I like the guy. Not because he said that I was one of his favorite fighters, not because of he said, I don't know if he was joking or not, that he will ask autograph. I like him because he's very polite, and I don't like that tough attitude, you know, of fighting on the press conference, spitting on each other, you know. This is just a sport, and I like people who are acting like a sportsman. Pat is definitely a sportsman. He's a good fighter, good striker. That's what I like. I like to fight with the strikers. I don't like to fight, not because I cannot handle, but I prefer to stay in a stand-up position. Pat will stay in a stand-up position. It will be a good stand-up war, and I think audience will be very satisfied with the fight. Second thing, there will be many Croatian fans from Vancouver. We have very strong Croatian community, and there will be many Croatian flag. And what a fighter could wish more than that? Good opponent and excellent audience. That's all I can wish.
Right. Thanks, Mirko. Good luck next week.
Thanks.
We'll take our next question from John Morgan with MMAJunkie.com.
Thank you. If I can follow up with Mirko, please. How much did you know about Pat Barry before this matchup? Had you watched any of his fights before? Were you aware of his career at all?
I heard. I saw only one fight of him. I think he was fighting Gary Goodrich or something. It was K1. It was K1 fight. I haven't seen him fighting MMA before, but for this fight, of course, I studied his MMA fights, and he's a very good fighter. Patient fighter, good striker, very fast, and I saw the way he destroyed. I don't know the name, the Dutch guy.
The
Hardlock, yeah, it was amazing, you know. So it will be a good fight, and I'm looking forward.
Yeah, and you said you like that style of fight. You really like to strike, and not that you can't wrestle, but you enjoy to strike. That is very dangerous, very explosive. Do you feel it's a favorable matchup for you because he'll strike with you, or is it a challenge for you?
Well, of course, fighting with a type of fighter like Pat is always a challenge. It is always a challenge for any fighter, you know.
Sure, thank you. And for Pat, please, can you talk about this matchup? I mean, is it difficult at all to separate an opponent from kind of a hero or an idol? Is there a moment of being a bit starstruck or caught up in the moment when you're in the cage?
No, absolutely. Like I said, I had a poster of Mirko on my wall. I mean, he was in my top 5 list of like scariest guys on the planet. This is before I had even started training, when my brother and I would just sit around watching K1 fights and watching kickboxing. This was like a guy that I idolized. And then when I started training, he was still one of my top 5 favorite, and still is, top 5 favorite kickboxers on earth, which I mimicked my left style against. He was the best at it. And then when I switched over to MMA, he's like the #1 guy on my list. As like I blame Prokop, I blame Mirko for the evolution of MMA. Like the reason why there are guys like me with the level of striking that I have in MMA nowadays is because of him. It's because of him solely. I put the blame on him. Is that he caused the rest of us to evolve. So is it difficult to separate starstruckness from just it being regular fight? Absolutely. I mean, who in their right mind, and with the amount of experience that I have, which is only 2 years of MMA, who in their right mind can walk up to Prokop and just shake his hand like he's just a regular guy? Like, I mean, now that's something that I'm sure I'm going to have to be able to do, but in my eyes,
he's not regular. He is not regular. I mean, he's not. Just like the other time when I met Chuck Liddell, I mean, I almost passed out. I mean, like these guys are heroes to me because I'm still a fan of the sport myself. I see these guys, I hear about these guys, I watch these guys, I follow these guys, and now I actually get to meet them and shake their hands. Like, this is like a childhood dream come true. This